very close. I won't be surprised if this reaches 7 games. The other team has advantages. TNT, I think, is a deeper team. I think there's more talent in the TNT team from top to bottom. But we all know what Ginebra's done in this conference the past few years. Their chemistry with Justin Brownlee is on another level. They're hurting a bit without Japet, without L.A. Tenorio, and that's why I think the bench factor favors TNT. But it's really hard to go up against Tim Cone as well in a best of 7 series. So I really think this series can go either way.
I mean, previously Ginebra crowd favorite, never say die attitude, but TNT, this is the first time they've been in the Governor's Cup final. So does that play a factor? The fans also watching, and especially the first game happening on Easter Sunday.
Probably not, because the TNT players have been to the Philippine Cup finals and the others. The only one who hasn't really done that is their import, Ronde Hollis Jefferson. But he's an NBA player. He played a long time in the league, so I don't think he's going to be fazed by the crowd or anything that's there in the finals. I don't think that will be too much of a factor.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we're going to expect Ronde Hollis Jefferson to be afraid of the moment, which is the finals, I think you're asking for too much if you're a Barangay Ginebra fan especially. But let's take a look about the keys to winning here, Coach. You actually gave a couple. TNT in particular, three-point shooting, that has been a big weapon for them. No secret that TNT like hunting for the three-pointer, like getting Mikey Williams, R.R. Pogoy, and others going here. Just what else and what about it do you think that they need to do to make sure that it is a weapon that will be lethal for Ginebra?
It's the main part of their offense. They will shoot a lot of threes. So this is both in volume and in efficiency. TNT must shoot a lot of threes and must make a lot of threes in order to win this series, because that's a big part of their offense. Coach Jolas, Coach Chot before, they would put in 5 players who can all shoot threes, because that's really what they do. And if they cannot hit their three-pointers with consistently, then that's the chance for Barangay Ginebra. I think that's something that Tim Cone will also would want to take away, the open looks from TNT from threes.
Let's move over to the Ginebra squad. They swept the semi-final round, and now keys to winning might be their bench points and how to limit the turnovers.
Well, Ginebra turned the ball a lot. This is not a very disciplined Ginebra team as in previous editions, because this is a younger team with Malonzo, with Jeremiah Gray, no L.A. Tenorio there. So I think they should play with a little bit more discipline and limit those turnovers. But the biggest factor to me is the bench points of Barangay Ginebra. TNT, as I said, is the deeper team. Barangay Ginebra, their starters are fantastic, but they need to get points from their bench, maybe more than 25, maybe close to 30 points from those guys, because they have a very depleted bench, because LA is no longer there. So Jeremiah Gray is now a starter, but they need points from guys like Pinto and Stanley Pringle off the bench in order to compete with TNT.
So let's see whether or not they can get those numbers. Now, interesting, because we were looking at key players as well. And of course, for Barangay Ginebra, I'm going to spoil it and say that this is not a hard choice. Pinili ni Coach Mark si Christian Stan Hardinger and Scotty Thompson. Scotty Thompson reigning MVP. Si Christian Stan Hardinger leading the race in terms of the BPC candidacy this conference. We see the numbers there on the screen. But I'm more curious about yung pick mo for TNT. That guy is Calvin Oftana, who exploded in the last game. Exploded in Game 4 with 19 points in a quarter. Seems like a guy who goes up, but then sometimes disappears, goes up and sometimes disappears. Why is he most important to you?
Because there's no one like him in the TNT lineup. They do not have a scoring hybrid type of a forward in that lineup. Their guards are so deep. If Mikey doesn't play well, RR can play well. Sometimes it's RR's turn, sometimes it's Jason's turn. So they're very good backcourt scoring, but none from their front line. Their centers don't score. Their forwards, of course, their import is a scorer in RHJ.
Yeah.
But among the locals, what Oftana brings to the table, nobody else in that TNT lineup can do. And we saw that in that in the clinching game against Meralco when Oftana scored 20 points in the second quarter.
Yeah.
If he can do that consistently, TNT will be very tough to beat.
If he does it consistently, like 20 points in a quarter, siguro 80 points yan in a game, di ba?
Mga 19. But you gave us another honorable mention that might come into play in the championship series. Japet Aguilar, he may or may not appear in the series.
He's going to be an X factor if he plays.
Okay.
But the thing is, even without Japet, they have not missed Japet a lot, Barangay Ginebra, because of the fantastic confidence of Christian Stan Hardinger. He is the guy, for me, Stan Hardinger has no matchup in this series. If he can be a focal point offensively, then they don't really need Japet. But TNT is not a tall team. They will not beat, their centers will not beat you. So I don't think having Japet is as essential as beating at the teams like San Miguel or the other bigger teams in this league.
All right, so you have time for one more question that I'm going to take off script here because magaling ka naman, Coach Mark. But right now, I just want to know, in your opinion, gaano ka-importante yung import matchup? Because on paper, again, RHJ, probably the guy that people are going to expect to have better numbers, but then Justin Brownlee is Justin Brownlee. You take a look at this, do they cancel each other out, or do you feel like one has to really overpower the other to get the win?
I think for the most part, they will cancel each other out because they're if you look at their numbers, it's almost even. But to me, the important thing here in the import matchup is who delivers in the clutch. When it's a tied game, last 2 minutes or final seconds of the game, who can deliver more? We've seen Justin Brownlee do it time and time again here in the PBA. We have not seen RHJ do it yet because this is his first final stint. So, to me, that is the remaining question mark on RHJ's game. When they need a bucket with seconds to go, can he do it?